throat, I'm bleeding now, now, now. Gonna let you down. We're broken people now.
Okay, and hello everybody, and welcome to Four Midwest Guys Studio. Woo, we've arrived, and as you can see today, we are doing the Bright movie review. So our first official podcast in the new studio. It's still a little rough, obviously. Still a little work in progress. But hey, we got 4 chairs, we got a table, we've got a camera.
We got mic stands, we got background, we got graphics.
We got some props, although they're Star Wars mostly right now, but we're working on that. So just a little bit of everything. We finally arrived. So
yep. So we're getting there, definitely.
We are definitely getting there. It's a big day for us here, for Midwest Guys, really. It's kind of a dream come true, and it's been a long time coming, a couple years in the making at least, if not 3. Maybe longer than that if you go back to some other projects we've done over the years.
Right.
So, but here we are. So let's dig into this really awesome video that is Bright. This is a Netflix exclusive movie.
Right. It was a Netflix original. So Netflix they're venturing out. They're trying to create their own content since they knew that some of their contracts are coming up. Lost was one of them. They just that contract ended, so they just Lost got pulled from them. They put it on Hulu. Disney's gonna
do
be pulling their stuff,
service, yeah.
And now that Disney bought Fox, Disney more than likely is going to pull the Fox programming off there too.
Right.
So I mean, not that Netflix has anything to worry about, but they're going to be losing that. So they wanted to come up. They're coming up with more of their own stuff, and I think the figure is they're making $1 billion a month.
$1 billion a month on Netflix.
Yeah, with just subscriptions, not even advertisement or anything else.
Right.
With contracts with the studios, that's just customer subscriptions.
Right.
So they have tons of money to throw at these movies, and Bright was one of the first major ones to come out. Which is why what kind of like we're doing it. It was a big movie. A lot of people thought it was going to come out into the theaters. I mean, I can see why after watching it, why it didn't come out in the theaters.
Right. But I mean, Netflix, obviously, you've got Stranger Things. You've got a lot of binge watching series. This is Ozark and Orange is the New Black, and all these binge watching. Those are series like television shows. This is an actual movie, so it's
right,
which is different
with a big director.
Yeah,
David Ayer was the guy who did Suicide Squad.
Yes, exactly.
And they also this movie did well enough for them that they're going to have a sequel, and the same characters are coming back: Will Smith, Joel Edgerton, and David Ayer's coming back,
which is a big deal because I think it's definitely was it the best movie in the world? No. By the way, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, stop. Go watch them and then turn this back on, pause this, and then come back. But I thought it was a great movie. I thought that it's a good starting point. Anyway, was it perfect? No, it was definitely not perfect.
Right, as the ratings would tell you.
Yeah.
I just have some of my notes here, and
sure.
the ratings. IMDb, they have it as 6.8.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes, the critics had it at 31, but the audience had it at a 90.
Okay.
And then on Google, 94% of people liked it. So the audience likes it, not so much the critics. So it's not going to win you any awards. But at the end of the day, who are you making a movie for? You making it to get an award, or are you making it to make money and gain viewers? I think they went the right way. They went towards the fans.
I definitely thought so, and I like this whole premise that they're using. Basically, it's the Lord of the Rings. It's the orcs. It's the well, maybe not hobbits, but there's orcs. There's elves. There's humans. There's mention of dwarfs. We don't really see them.
There's mention of dwarves. We get a there's fairies at one of the cityscapes. You actually see a dragon flying across the moon.
Yeah, which is kind of cool looking.
I thought it was yeah.
It would have been neat to have that in the movie too, but yeah. So it's kind of like they took that whole Lord of the Rings D&D universe and put it in modern day society.
Yep.
But it's like we've grown up all these years, like orcs really existed in the world, and along with humans and elves, and we've kind of learned to try to get along, and we understand each other, but we still have our differences because we are different. And then that's where they throw in the racial diversity, I guess, and even a class system, which is interesting, which I thought was a really interesting play on it. Like orcs are your poor, essentially your lower class society. Then the humans are right in the middle. We're the middle class, and then the upper class are the elves, which kind of makes sense when you think about it, right? Because elves are always kind of glowing and kind of kind of hold themselves in a higher regard. Really, if you take that whole mythology and apply it here, so it's a very interesting take to me on just a play on it's like I said, it's like if somebody's just said this is real, and since Middle Earth we've learned to grow and accept each other, or try to. It's
an alternate modern day society where orcs and elves and humans have all existed since the beginning of time.
Yeah,
and and we're gonna follow these two cops on their journey, through their patrol and whatever it takes them on, a wild goose chase through, finding a relic and everything else. So
yeah. It's very interesting, and I think there's real potential here, not just for a series of movies, but really a world-building experience even, because they've opened this door, and now that you have this door, they keep talking about the Dark Lord coming back. Not that it's necessarily Sauron or it's a play off that, but there's this Dark Lord, and there's this group of elves that are trying to bring him back. So you got this whole storyline. It's almost like a religion. You have different religions. You have like the orcs religion. You have suddenly there's this group of magic users that are there to stop the Dark Lord, like a Knight's light or Illuminati kind of thing going on. So there's a lot of.
It's funny because they actually say that that group actually killed off
the Illuminati
200 years ago.
So that there's like these there's ultra good guys in magic, and then there's bad guys in magic. And there's even a magic FBI, which I thought was an interesting twist. I really like that actually, that because magic does exist in this world, because we find out there's a magic wand, which is like a nuclear weapon.
Oh, there's more than one.
Yeah,
more than one magic wand. Yeah, because I think that they need to get 3 of them in order to bring back the Dark Lord or something like that.
Right.
So I mean, it's pretty cool, and you can see the way that this magic wand, and it's just like a magic wand like you think it would be,
right?
Grants you wishes or whatever you want to use it for. You get to see how it affects certain people.
Yeah, it's
in this world, and how it affects people that you would think would be the good guys, and how it affects them and their way of thought, their thought process, and everything else. And it's just like, what? You're right. That regardless of what you are. It's what you are inside that's going to change how you handle it.
And it's like the magic wand is such high esteem and high regard because it can grant wishes, and it can do basically anything you want it to do. It's the government's obviously there to try to take control of it and keep control of it and keep it out of the wrong people's hands, and people are out for it for themselves in whatever way they want.
Right, and in this world, the only people that can handle the magic wands are brights, which is the name of the movie, Bright. So if you handle a wand and you're not a bright, you basically explode, and everybody around you kind of explodes, I guess, if they're really close to you.
I guess, yeah, because of the explosion's pretty big deal. It's not just the person exploding, it's everything around them kind of does.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of potential here. That's kind of how I left this movie. Was it the greatest movie in the world? No. In fact, I think, I don't know, Brian, what were some of the things that didn't work for you, I guess?
We're going to go with the things that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
One of the things that, it was the way the ending came about. Followed the movie the whole way through.
Yeah.
Didn't really have major issues with the whole thing. But we get to the very end, and it like a lot of movies we've watched, it felt like, ran out of budget, let's end the movie.
Right.
And it was just over, and you're like, I mean, it was kind of neat to watch, like I said, this whole world, but the way that ended, it kind of left you, like, oh my gosh, I hope there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't more than a week or two after it came out, and they said they've already signed on to do a second one, and everybody's signed up to do it again to be part of it. So
right, so it leaves the door open. For me, it felt like there were some scenes in here that were just kind of forced. I thought there was an orc mosh pit scene, and I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to show the orc society and how they worked and whatnot. But it was, to me, I felt like that was forced and not really needed. It felt like, to me, it was edited in parts where it didn't need to be edited, and it was not edited in parts where it should have been.
Right.
I thought the editing was poor, and I thought maybe that kind of led to why it didn't. It felt like it didn't flow real well in parts, and in parts, like
I think the mosh pit part was interesting because we were watching the mosh pit, right? We're watching it, and it's like it's
Right.
like really hard like music, right?
right,
And Jacoby, which is the orc played by Joel Egerton, he goes, that's the most beautiful love song, blah 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 blah.
yeah. Actually,
And-
it was on the radio, but
yeah,
yes,
and he's
yes.
like, we're not listening to that. And
Yeah.
that's what the guy was singing in the.
Oh, it was the same song. I didn't pick up
So
on
so
that.
he was singing that, and it was it was basically felt like you're listening to like this heavy
War,
metal,
war kind of, yeah.
But it ties into like the whole like orc. That's the kind of personality they have, like in Middle Earth, was that rage and
Gruff,
everything else.
yeah.
Yeah.
feeling to it. Yeah, so it's interesting. Like I said, for me, editing was bad. The flow was bad. However, that being said, it's not a horrible movie. I mean,
No, I had a lot of favorite parts.
I mean, in fact, what were some of your favorite scenes?
So like the one that's a couple of them that stick out in my head when they first get the wand.
Okay.
That whole panoramic scene where they're going around the table looking at all the cops, and all the cops are like, you could be taller, you could be shorter, you could be $1 million, you could, all the stuff they're going through their minds, and they're just talking about all the stuff they could have, and then, they're like, you have a choice, either one cop comes out or two cops,
Right.
whatever he says, and so he comes out, and then, Will Smith turns around and shoots him. I mean, it was just that scene right there, and the way they did it in slow mo.
Yeah.
I mean, it was perfect. That right there was perfect. I like that scene. I like the car chase scene with the Mexicans.
I was gonna bring that up. Yes, that's one of mine.
That was a great scene, and the humor that they put in with Jacoby. He played the nice guy the whole time.
Yeah,
and so
like ultra nice guy.
Yeah.
He's getting shit on the whole time.
Yeah, so his humor in the whole thing it was just awesome. So he's like, "Oh, they didn't teach that in the academy or whatever."
Right.
And those were some of my like. I would say that probably those are some of my favorite scenes of the whole
series.
Yeah.
The whole movie. I keep calling it a series because it's on Netflix, but it's just a movie. But yeah, I enjoyed the chase scene. I thought was good. I liked the scene with the magic wand at the end with the tree, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
The tree of life.
Tree of life, or whatever was going on there. I was a little confused that the dark forces would go to that as well, but maybe it's just kind of like a thing in the middle kind of thing.
Well, I think they said it connects all of them, so there's more than one tree.
One more. Okay.
So I think it was just they all connect together.
Okay, so good, bad,
Yeah.
light, dark. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense though. So, but yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. Like I said, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Last one, other scene that I really liked was the gas station scene.
Gas station scene. I'm trying to remember that one.
So like they run the car in through the glass, and they got Jacoby in the front of it and ram him into the milk thing.
Yeah.
Right, and then she's shooting at Will Smith, and he's running down the lanes, and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That was a good action scene.
yeah, I mean
yeah.
they were really good. I like,
Yeah.
like I said, like the whole premise of this was very cool to watch develop because it's something we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, definitely.
And now that we've seen it, now our minds and imagination can take place, because if you'd said it before, you're like, I don't know if I could see, orcs in today's society or whatever. Now that we've seen it, it's much easier to see progressing.
For me, it's like they took something. It's like opening a book for the first time, and suddenly your imagination is set off in about 1,000 different directions. Because now you're like, well, they can do this or they can do that. Or we can stay with Jacoby, and we can stay with Will Smith's character. I'm sorry, Ward and Jacoby, or we can go off and we can follow the magic FBI, or we can follow just the dark elves, or the light elves, or the light whatever they call
Followers
them.
of the light.
Followers of the light. There's
I think
there's a lot of potential here to show everything, even the battle against the original Dark Lord, if they really want to go back and show scenes of that. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's a good starting point to just branch out. I mean, it has the potential to be the next Harry Potter, the next Star Wars, the next great world building series.
Oh, definitely. I mean, think of all the fans there are of Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
And now those fans get to follow orcs and elves in today's society. They already do that with cosplay and everything else. Mm-hmm. And now they actually get to watch it on TV.
But now they get to be cops. Now they got guns. Now they've got modern technology.
Where before they're like, well, that's stupid. Why would an orc be a cop? Or why would an elf blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And now you get to see it on TV, and you're like, well, now anything's possible, you know?
Precisely. Everything and anything is possible. Which, you know, like I said, it just opens up everything. So, all right, Brian. So what would you give this final grade, I guess, on a scale from 1 to 10? What would you give it?
My final grade, 7.5 or an 8, which is what I actually gave it on IMDb.
Okay.
I make sure anytime I give a rating on here, I always go to IMDb and put my rating in. And I would say that it's definitely worth a watch. It's not a summer blockbuster by any means.
Yeah.
But I've already seen it 2 or 3 times.
Have you? No.
Yeah, because I watched it once by myself. I watched it once with you.
Right.
And then I watched it again with Caitlin, my daughter.
Yeah. So is it getting better for you every time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not finding any like you said, like the mosh pit thing. Mm-hmm. It did catch me off guard the first time I saw it, and I was like, why is it here? Yeah. But the more I think about it, it just plays into the whole the race and the culture, and you know, and it's not it's not actually a mosh pit.
Yeah.
It sounds like a mosh pit, but it's not really. I mean, he's in there screaming, blah, 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 blah. And when you walk in, no one's mosh pitting. They're just they're just kind of dancing, and you got people sitting on the couches and stuff.
Right, exactly. It was just like, what is this? Mm-hmm. But I understand what they're going for. Like I said, I just felt like it was out of place. But yeah, well, that's cool that every time you're watching it, because I've only seen it the one time now, but I definitely would like to watch it again. Mm-hmm. For me, I'd give it and I've only seen it once, but I would probably give it a 7 to a 7.5 as well. Like I said, though, it has flow problems. I think it has editing problems. But just the concepts that it introduces, the world that it introduces is incredibly interesting to me. I want to see more of it. I want to see them expand on it. I want to see, you know, where they go next with this particular storyline and how that's going to branch out. Because I really think if they do it right, this is, you know, they can do multiple movies. They could start doing individual TV series even, or binge watch series even based in this world.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you want to call it the bright world necessarily just yet, or what to term it.
Right, yeah, I don't even know what they would call, because the next movie may not even be called Bright.
Right, it might be something
completely different, but it's, you know, essentially Bright too.
Yeah. So what kind of universe is it, and what's it going to be? So to me, that's awesome potential. So all right, so real quick, where can you find 4 Midwest Guys? Well, it's real simple. We're all over social media, but the first place that you can stop is the number 4 MidwestGuys.com. Excuse me. Again, that's the number 4 MidwestGuys.com. There is everything. There's links to our Twitter, to our Podbean, which I need to update. I am a little behind on getting these audio podcasts since we went to video, but I will get updated on that.
But the links to YouTube's up there.
YouTube is up there as well. iTunes is on there. Everything. I will get our audio updated, I promise. But YouTube right now is where you can find the latest and the greatest.
Oh, and be sure to like and subscribe us on there.
Yeah, follow, like, and subscribe. You can find Brian at AngZone
on Twitter.
Yep. You can find myself at BWillie1977. You can find all of us at 4 Midwest Guys. And Brian just started an Instagram account.
Yep, on Instagram you could find, look me up at _real_ank. I've been posting certain pictures of behind the scenes stuff here and other things going on in my day to day. But if you want to do that, you can.
Okay, great. So yeah, there's just a lot of different ways to reach out to us. So please get out there, hit up the website. The website's always updated. Also, John has returned with his the Oscar Bro, I guess, is back. He's an audio version. It's a character he does, and he just broke down his predictions for the Golden Globes. I'm sure he's going to talk about what happened at the Golden Globes coming up soon as well. So it's your one-stop shop, really, is the 4MidwestGuys.com. So please do check us out and continue with the comments. We got a few comments on our Thor podcast.
Oh yeah, we've been getting some back and forth communication.
So it's been great to have that. It's awesome. Please continue to do so. Please continue to reach out to us, and we would love to get back with you. And we'll definitely mention some of your tweets and comments on future podcasts as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, Brian, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, and I guess we'll catch you on the next one because we got a lot of these lined up.
Oh yeah, lots of them to come. The studio will be in full force, and this has been. I'm your host, B. Willie, and saying we'll catch you next time.
We're broken people now. We're burning out. So cold and bleeding now. Gonna let you down.